these Beijing 2022 Paralympic Winter Games, and the 3 runs in the women's giant slalom, vision impaired, followed by standing and then sitting to decide who will be crowned the giant slalom Paralympic champion in those 3 classes. And well, the tension is palpable at the top as the athletes have a penultimate shot at the top step of the Paralympic podium. And there'll be some nerves at the top for those that are in the medal hunt. And here are the weather conditions, still above freezing in terms of air temperature. And as you can see from the gates there, a little bit of a breeze still blowing on the Ice River course. Ron, the mascot for the Beijing Paralympic Winter Games. The women's giant slalom, vision impaired, second run at the Beijing 2022 Paralympic Winter Games. So let's have a look at the start list, and 13 competitors from 10 national Paralympic committees at the top of the hill, and the start order is the reverse of their finishing times in the first run. So Danielle Umstead was 13th quickest in the first run. She'll go first. Veronika Eigner of Austria, the quickest, will go 13th and last. The defending Paralympic champion Henrietta Farkasova, not in the second run. She skied out in the first. Final moments then before they go.
And a quick look behind the scenes up at the start area, where all of the athletes, both in all 3 categories, visually impaired, standing and sitting, are making their final preparations. Anxious moments, but we've had a quick look at the course, and there's a very steady, nice, even rhythmical pattern of gaits have been set by Tony McAllister, one of the USA ski team coaches, and hopefully that will help us ensure that we don't have too many people crashing out of the competition. One of the American athletes will be getting us underway with the first start position in just a moment or 2 from now.
As you can see from the camera angle there, a little bit misty on the Haituo mountain for run 2, but plenty of visibility for the various gates that are set down this track, and the Ice River piste, as it is known as, well, just a little bit softer today, as Rob Umstead, Danielle's husband, just gives her the last couple of pointers, and you can see the wind just tugging on his jumper. There is the 30-second buzzer, so the 1 comes across. Danielle Umstead of the United States of America will get run 2 of the women's giant slalom, vision impaired, underway. And the alternating red and blue gates set by Tony McAllister, one of the coaches from the United States of America. And Umstead, with her husband Rob as her guide, picks her way down these gates.
Yeah, they've hit the sweet rhythm here straight away. The pairing, a very, very experienced couple here at in the women's visually impaired discipline, or division of the giant slalom discipline, choosing not to compete in the speed events, but focusing instead on the technical races. And so far, so good for Rob and Danielle Umstead, going very steadily here through this middle part of the course.
A couple of time checks through this second run, and you can hear the conversation between the pair.
Yeah, Rob chooses to give a really rhythmical call. He's trying to set the tempo, if you like, much as a band leader would do, just counting the gates down, more just with sounds and a little bit of extra information about, for instance, right here, where the double gate may lie, where the longer turns are, and a little bit about where the terrain steepens up, as it does here, coming into the finish arena. So
Umstead, a couple of gates from home, and she'll cross the line, and 2:34.24 is the time for those at the top to beat. Linda Le Bon of Belgium with bib number 15 and her guide Ulle Gillot out on track. Le Bon, 57 years of age, already finds herself comfortably inside the time of Umstead, extending her advantage from the start hut at the first interval.
Just catching up with them on the final few gates.
And Le Bon inside comfortably, new leader, 2:18.63. Sora Choi of Korea and her guide Kim Yu-seong, bib number 13, 18 years of age. In her first Paralympic Winter Games, she was one of the flag bearers, the Paralympic flag. She carried it at the opening ceremony of her home Paralympics 4 years ago.
Solid midsection from the Koreans here, through the double and early onto the pitch. Gates are set a little more open, a little more inviting than we had in the first run, and that's allowing the Koreans to make good pace as they head towards the line.
Choi sets a new best time, 2:15.24. Naomi Evaristo and her guide Paula Elia Brenzel. Naomi Risto of Germany and her guide Paula Elia Brenzel. Their advantage over Sora Choi, our current leader in this women's giant slalom, vision impaired, 2.77 seconds.
Yeah, Risto digging in hard here. They've gone out very aggressively. Ordinarily, they would have been chasing for the medal positions, but problems in the first run, seeing, I fear, their chances of a medal here dashed. So looking to make amends and lay down a confidence-building run here and showing that their best is yet to come.
Well, Risto still has the green light, but had a PCL, or tore her PCL, I should say, in her left knee in September of last year. So not a great deal of time to recover from that.
No, she's a really determined competitor, and seen her take quite a few major spills throughout her career. She tends to put them behind her very rapidly and get on with the job of getting back to the training hill as quickly as she can.
Finds a little bit more for the green light. Risto doing a good job. 2:15.24 as she picks her way down through the last couple of gates, and Risto tucks for the line, and she's inside by 2.66 seconds. New best time, 2:12.58.
Close-up look of Risto on this long left foot turn, makes the switch across, and here as the terrain gets steeper, skis drifting a little at the tail of the turn and dropping her a bit low in the line.
back at the top. And bib number 1, Millie Knight of Great Britain and her guy Brett Wild. Their advantage over our leader Risto of Germany. 0.59 of a second for Knight.
Solid top turns by Brett Wild to set a great line here for Millie Knight. Millie delivering more aggressive, more confident looking turns and a much quicker line than we saw from her in the first run. So carrying good pace out here onto the middle part of the course. Just have to be a little careful with the distance.
Still has the green line, in fact, has extended it. Knight 3 times on the Paralympic podium. Can she make it a 4th appearance in this women's giant slalom vision impaired race?
Yeah, good skiing here from the British couple. Heading now towards the steeper part of the course and the final split time.
And the green light is still there for Knight.
Yes, they need to keep the work rate up. They seem to be fading ever so slightly here, and the tougher turns are yet to come.
You can hear Brett Wild really asking more from his athlete. 2:12.58. Knight tucks for the line. Has she done enough? She has by 1.25 seconds. A new best time, 2:11.33.
Little sideways in these slow-mo pictures. Millie Knight just not quite got the ideal line here, but lower down, managed to find the fall line, find that tuck position as she ran for the line. Full attack as she crosses the red line there to stop the clock.
Martina Vozza of Italy and her guide, Lelenia Sabeduzzi. And Vozza is on track, trying to chase down the time of Millie Knight.
It's a wild ride at the top. Italians taking a lot of risks. We'll have to wait for the first split to see if it really pays off. These are clean turns, though, coming off the steep, and it's an important part where we've seen all through the competition today. The athletes must carry maximum speed from that steeper part out onto the middle flats.
Vozza, the 17-year-old, extends the advantage to nearly 7/10 and gets into that aerodynamic tuck position.
Yeah, grabs the tuck just for a microsecond. I would suggest, though, focusing on the line would be a better option through the middle part here. The gates are not quite far enough to justify getting right into a tuck position. Really need to keep the legs open and keep them moving. These are better turns here.
And the lead now, nearly 2 seconds. Excellent work from Vozza as she comes to the final pitch.
Gets steep here. She's got to reach forward, not get twisted too badly as she comes around these wider turns. Should be safe from here.
Has the rhythm of them now after asking a little bit of herself at the top. Good ski from Vozza. A new best time, 2:08.83.
Yeah, she looks pleased with that one. Let's have a quick look back at some slow-mos from higher up. Once, twice with the pressure there. She does well to recover the tail of the turn. Another turn rather, where she's running wide, but maximum fight, maximum commitment to battling her way back onto the racing line sees her recover both of those errors well.
Menna Fitzpatrick of Great Britain and her guide Gary Smith next out of the start hut. They have an advantage of 0.42 of a second over our leader Martina Vozza of Italy from the first run. And Fitzpatrick will know that that isn't a great deal of time, so needs to be on her game here.
Confident looking top few turns from Fitzpatrick. Good communication between she and Smith. Here comes the first check.
And the green light is there, but 0.26 now, down from 0.42.
Fitzpatrick a little static through this middle section, not quite got the drive that she had in some of the earlier turns. And let the clock be the final judge as to how well the skis are actually running through these flatter sections, though.
And 0.62 back up now. Her largest lead in this run so far as she comes to the final challenge.
A little bit wide on the double, but it's afforded her good space above the blue, and then now onto the steep. Very tight to the gates. This is a strong, strong closing few turns.
Fitzpatrick tucks for the line and leads by over a second, 2:07.67. Good work from Fitzpatrick and Smith.
Saved the best turns to the very bottom, set up well out of the double here. That gives her lots of space above this blue gate. And then on the last couple of turns on the steep section, she was able to point the skis right down the fall line and go for the line.
Wait for the camera.
Happy anniversary, Mum and Dad.
Melissa Perrin and her guide, Bobby Kelly, off on this second run of the women's giant slalom, vision impaired. And the Australian has 0.65 of an advantage over our current leader, Menna Fitzpatrick, from the first run.
Yeah, Melissa Perrin, a little static on the first couple of turns, but she's picked her game up here. Real dynamic skiing from the Australians as they close out those top few turns on the initial steep. And, well, to my eye, they're motoring here across the flats.
Up to a second now for Perrin in her fourth Paralympic Winter Games. 34 years of age, a bronze medalist in this discipline back in 2018.
The Australians really pushing here. Putting on our guide to keep it moving. They're getting very close together here.
And the advantage extends a little longer. Perrin in all sorts of trouble. She's running very late in the line. This will help her out, though.
Yeah, she manages to just find that extra space and time through the double. Needs to tidy things up here for the steep, though. She's dangerously close to the tails of the skis with her weight. Should be okay here, though.
2:07.67, and she leads by 0.66 of a second. Melissa Perrin goes into top spot for the time being.
I think the look on Mel's face there tells the whole story. There's more relief than anything else had been in the finish area. That was a real risky ride by the Australians. I have to say, after a short absence from the competitive circuit, Mel Perrin certainly not lost any of her bravery there. Risky stuff down that final steep.
Alexandra Rexova and her guide Eva Čekakova of Slovakia with an advantage of 2.37 seconds over Melissa Perrin of Australia, our leader at this point in the second run of the women's giant slalom, vision impaired. Rexova just 16 years of age, looking to add to her medal haul at Beijing 2022.
Different style of skiing here, quick on and quick off the edges by Rexova.
And extends the lead to over 3.5 seconds. You can see the guy constantly checking over her shoulder to see where her charge is.
Rexova, she's a fiery little competitor, looking for speed, trying to get her ski poles under her arms.
And the advantage still over 3.5 seconds. Good skiing from Rexova.
Here's the double. She carries good speed through here, gets the early line onto the steep. This is a strong finishing series of turns.
2:07.01 Perrin's time, and Rexova, oh yes, in nearly 5 seconds quicker. Great skiing. Rexova into provisional gold medal position.
Yeah, those closing turns really put a best part of a second in the bank there for Rexova, I would say. Really looked determined right from the start, diving into these early turns. Whoa, less than a ski length apart, the pair of them. Round the double here, and the next couple of turns is really where she turned it on.
Bib number 5 is Elina Stary of Austria and her guide Celine Arthofer. And their advantage just under a second over our leader, Alexandra Rexova of Slovakia. Now Stary, just 15 years of age in her first Paralympic Winter Games, was 3rd in the giant slalom at the World Championships. Can she find her way onto a Paralympic Winter podium? Still has the advantage, but it's shrunk a little bit.
She's quick on and off the edge, just maybe a little more patience rolling into the turn to help develop the carve more progressively. We give her a bit more bite and a more secure direction through the turn. It's still fast, don't get me wrong.
And the clock likes what she's putting down here as the advantage goes to over a second through the double gates and almost gets caught on the inside.
Setting up well here, though, for the final pitch.
2:02.02, and Stary of Austria is inside, and inside by just over a second. Great skiing from the 15-year-old.
The Austrians have such a strong team here at the Winter Paralympic Games. Let's look closely at these turns. The youngster standing strong on the outside ski. You see the base of the ski, the angle, very, very steep indeed, and a full bend from tip to tail. Lovely turns down that lower pitch.
Current leaderboard in the women's giant slalom, vision impaired. Austria lead from Slovakia and Australia. The fastest 3 from the first run about to challenge. Barbara Eichner of Austria and her guide Clara Sikora out onto the track. 0.78 the advantage over Stary, our current leader. And Eichner, just 16 years of age. Her twin brother Johannes, already a couple of gold medals here in Beijing, but she's chasing down an even younger teammate in 15-year-old Stary, who leads the way.
Oh, she certainly put some great turns down. Oh, gets a little wide on the red.
Advantage up to 0.92, and Sikora, the guide, just has to slow up a little bit to allow Eichner to catch up, but they've got back together.
Yeah, really good top section here. The whole of the run, apart from that one error just before the first split, really almost flawless, I would suggest.
1:44.07, and the advantage continues to grow. Her guide, Clara Sikora, her father won Olympic bronze medal in Nagano in slalom in 1998.
Good work on these lower turns. This is going to be a fast run to the finish.
2 minutes, 0.95, and she's inside by over a second. Barbara Eichner knows she has herself a medal because only 2 remain at the top of the hill. She's in provisional gold.
Yeah, they're delighted with that run, so they should be. Luke pushes it right to the limit. Really deep angles in these turns. Good grip on this very difficult surface.
And I think they've just realized that they've medaled. Zhu Da-King from the People's Republic of China and her guide Yan Han are out on track, looking to try and overtake Barbara Eichner of Austria, our current leader. And Zhu with a healthy 0.95 of a second advantage over Eichner from the first run.
Whoa, she's taking an incredibly tight line on these gates. It's real risky skiing from a B2 classified skier. They need to make sure they don't stretch the distance between guide and athlete too far.
Well, the green light has gone out to over a second now.
Jan just backing off a little through this middle part to let Zhu catch up with him, but they're still a full, well, a good 20, 22 meters apart, I would estimate, judging by the distance between the gates.
And the green light has halved to just over half a second. So this needs to be quick and clean from Zhu on these final turns.
Yeah, the gap's too far for Zhu to be able to be fully confident in what she's doing here, but she does have a lot in hand from that final split.
1:59.93. She's inside, but only just 8/100ths of a second. And China go into the lead, and Zhu Da-King with an excellent ski.
Precision there on the top parts of her turns, a little bit too direct and getting pushed below some of the turns, but good enough to put her in contention for a medal right now. Just a question of which color.
Veronika Eigner of Austria, bib number 12, with her older sister Elizabeth as her guide, has 3 seconds on the field from the first run, and she needs to be spot on this second run to ski into gold medal position. Her younger brother Johannes already has golds from this Paralympic Winter Games.
Well, I think we're seeing a measure of the confidence that the Eigner family bring to these slopes here in China. Grows that advantage courtesy of some very, very strong turns. She may have a big advantage from the start, but she's not content with that. She wants to build it and prove a point here, I think.
Well, she's extended it by over a second in those opening turns, and these are really good turns from Veronika Eigner. It's out to 6 seconds now.
Just needs to keep this last few turns nice and solid. Great connection here between the pair as they come onto the final pitch.
3 gates from home for Veronika Eigner to take the gold medal in the giant slalom vision impaired, and she's home by 7.31 seconds. It has been a masterful display by Veronika Eigner of Austria, who is the Paralympic champion in giant slalom vision impaired for Beijing 2022.
Real textbook stuff here from the Eigner sisters. Guide and athlete working in perfect unison from top to bottom of the course. They barely put a foot wrong. Mirror images of each other going through these gates. And, well, massive relief, but surely delight there for the girls in the finish area.
Well, they were in a car crash back in November, put them both into hospital. But they were selected for Beijing and they recovered. And what a recovery it is. It's crowned with Paralympic gold. And sadly for Stari, she's bumped it into 4th. But Barbara Eigner, her younger sister, is the world champion. Veronika Eigner is the Paralympic winter champion. A fantastic ski from Veronika Eigner. So confirmation of the women's giant slalom vision impaired result. Veronika Eigner of Austria and her older sister Elizabeth are the Paralympic champions. Zhu Da-King of the People's Republic of China is in silver. And Barbara Eigner, the younger sister of Veronika, is the bronze medalist, as all 13 racers that start the second run finish. So the recognition ceremony for the women's giant slalom vision impaired at Beijing 2022. And a family affair as Barbara Eigner leads out her sister Veronika, with Zhu King of the People's Republic of China at the back of that line. In third place, Barbara Eigner of Austria adds Paralympic Winter Games bronze to her World Championship gold medal. A brilliant ski by the 16-year-old. And silver medalist from the People's Republic of China, Zhu King. But the giant slalom, vision impaired. Women's champion for Beijing 2022. It's 18-year-old Veronika Eigner and her older sister Elizabeth as her guide. So the women's start list for the giant slalom standing race, the second run, 21 competitors from 14 NPCs at the top of the hill, and the defending Paralympic and reigning world champion is Marie Boucher, and she has bib number 21. She was fifth fastest after the first run. China's big hope, Zhang Mengyu, was the quickest in the first run. The athletes are out on track, and Claudia Hernandez of Chile is a non-finisher, just running too low in the line and missing the gate.
That's a shame. Hernandez's run comes to a very early finish. These opening gates will cause... We've seen some great skiing so far, but these opening gates are still on this very steep section, and more problems to come for some of the racers. They must make absolutely certain of the first 2 or 3 gates to find the rhythm and get a feel for the steepness and the firmness of the snow.
Ilma Kacic from Bosnia-Herzegovina, bib number 36, the 23-year-old in her third Paralympic Winter Games. Now, the athletes going in reverse finishing order from the first run. And Kacic was 20th fastest from run 1, so second out the gate in run 2.
Good confident skiing here by Kacic. And I have to say, you know, her condition, she's so short on leg strength. She has to take that quite risky line, just spend as little time on each of the turns as possible. But yeah, that's the mistakes she has to try to avoid. If the skis get away from her, then she finds it very difficult to recover her balance, doesn't have the strength to slam the edges into the snow to recover her balance or recover the line. So she has to be precise and, you know, a little cautious right from the get-go. Only a little cautious. She does need to take a chance as well if she wants to make her mark on the world standings here.
Skiing into a little bit of breeze. You can see the gates leaning towards her, and 2:20.25 the second split. As she comes through this double left-footed turn onto the finishing pitch now. She can see the finish area, but needs to keep the concentration high.
Yeah, needs to keep a close eye on the line for this last couple of turns. She can afford to let the skis run from here, though. She's safely down.
And she sets a time of 2:43.4. Good skiing from Kacic.
Yeah, she's made great progress over the last couple of years. Good to see her safely in the finish area.
Bib number 28, Shani Vaspi from Israel. Her advantage over Kacic from the first run, just a 1/10 of a second. And must be in her first Paralympic Winter Games. As you can see, is wearing a skirt to adhere to the religious dress code of Hasidic Judaism, and making sure these very steep, very tough top turns, and now looking a little bit more confident as she comes into the middle part of the challenge.
Yeah, if you're skiing with just a pair of edges rather than having 4 edges across 2 skis, a full pair of skis, a little caution is probably well advised on these top turns.
Well, the green light she had has gone red, but now she will settle into the course and look to get that time back if she can.
Build some confidence through these middle turns. Could use a slightly earlier edge change to help her develop a steeper angle through the turn to give her more grip and more control through the curve.
And she has done well because she's made up the deficit and then found a whole second. Good skiing from Vaspi.
Good tactics, you know, taking a little bit of a rounder route on the very top turns. Possibly will do the same thing here, or will she take a risky line to the finish? Looks to be a slightly straighter line than on the top section.
She'll tuck for the line, 2:43.4. Excellent skiing from Vaspi. That was really well managed. And she betters the time by 2.2 seconds. Wang Qingyun from the People's Republic of China, bib number 33. Now, her advantage over 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds over our current leader, Shani Vaspi of Israel. And Wang betters that time by 11 seconds, 2:30.03, the new best time. Kamiyama Noriko of Japan, bib number 30, making her Paralympic debut at the age of 49. What can she do here? 5 seconds the right side of the clock at the first split.
Kamiyama with a 92.39% factor on her time, so she does have a little bit of assistance from the clock, as it were, over Wang, who leads at the moment, but not so much that she can afford much of an overly round line here down through this steeper section. She knows that, and she now starts to look for speed from this final red gate and run straight to the line.
2:30.03 is going to be bettered, and it's going to be bettered by 3.81 seconds. 2:26.22, the new best time. Bib number 23 is Ali Johnson of the United States of America, 27 years of age, with an advantage of over 4 seconds over Kamiyama, our current leader from the first run. Well, here comes that second split, and it's still green.
Oh, I was about to say Johnson on a very risky approach here, risky tactic, going very straight there at the end of the flats, and almost getting in all sorts of trouble. Manages to recover the line.
Has it harmed to time? 2:26.22 is Kamiyama's time, and Johnson is inside by 0.47 of a second. She leads the way.
Yeah, she brought enough from the first run, but only just, I have to say. That was close.
Vanessa Gaskova from Slovakia with just 0.24 and of advantage from the first run over Johnson, our current leader. Has that now at 0.38 at the first split.
Good skiing through this middle part. Slightly direct line. Perhaps if she was going a little rounder, she'd better get a cleaner carve. However, she's safely through the majority of gates and gets these two really wide set turns at the top of the finish pitch pretty cleanly.
Good skiing from Gaskova, and she goes into the lead. 2:23.54 now, the best time. Lucia Smetisko from Croatia next on track. Bib number 31, just 17 years of age, and at the first time split the advantage 4.5 seconds.
Smetisko looking a lot more confident than she did in the first run, looking like she's feeling happier with the conditions underfoot than we saw earlier on. And right now, these are very clean turns as she comes onto the final pitch. A little bit in the back seat. She makes a good recovery and pushes forward, though.
Smetisko to take the lead, and she does it comfortably by over 7 seconds. An excellent second run from the Croatian. 2:16.41 now, the best time. Guo Xiaxin of the People's Republic of China with an advantage of nearly 3 3/4 seconds over our leader Smetisko from the first run. But most of that is gone. 0.49 at the first interval.
Good line here. Good pace being picked up across the middle part of the course. Now it gets steeper. She has to manage the line, stand strongly on that outside ski.
And starts to find some time as she comes through the double gate onto the finishing pitch. And good work from Guo. 2:16.41 is going to be under threat here. And she's inside by 0.26 of a second. Another well-managed run. Ray Anderson from Australia next out the start hut with an advantage of 0.84 over Guo of China, our current leader. And Anderson's advantage now 0.6, the wrong side of the clock from the Australians' point of view.
Yeah, Anderson, this first of our LW91 classified skiers here today. It looks perhaps like her energy is fading away from her, particularly on her left side, the less strong side. A lot of drift happening, and this turn here is pretty critical. She gets it really well. Executed that tactically very well, took extra space as she came in. Oh, but just lets it slip again on that red. She's recovered well, though. She'll make it to the line.
2:16.15 comes and go. Anderson 1.4 the wrong side of the clock. Tough couple of turns at the top of the finishing pitch. And she is exhausted, understandably so. She has left it out there.
Look back, grits the teeth coming around these turns. Full marks for giving it everything, leaves it on the hill. Been congratulated on her run by Melissa Perrin and her guide in the finish area.
Hondo Ami of Japan, 10th quickest after the first run, has an advantage of nearly 3 seconds on Guo, our leader, from that first run. And Hondo Ami, if she can successfully negotiate the opening 6 turns, will then let these skis run.
Very strong athlete, but she's, I would say, body position-wise, a little bit too far back. She's doing well here, but she definitely needs to capture the front part of the ski, have a little bit more control in the top of the turn, particularly on the closing half a dozen gates down that final pitch. Right now, though, using that leg strength to good effect, pumping the skis and making pace as she gets across the flatter part.
Extended the advantage at the first split and gains a little bit more time at the second.
Pushed a little wide on the entry to the double, but gets it back. Again, using that leg strength to good effect. She's low here, caught on the tails a little. She should have enough, but that was close.
2:16.15, she's inside by 5 seconds. Hondo Ami, our new leader. Could hear her shouting to herself down that finishing pitch. Really energy sapping final 6 or 7 gates.
Whoa, there's the recovery. Lightning reactions to get the skis back underneath the body. And here on the double into the pitch. Very precise with the placement of the skis.
Petra Smazova of Slovakia, bib number 27, and she has herself just over 3/4 of a second advantage over Hondo Ami of Japan, our current leader. As you can see from the factor time, she gets no help from the clock, so she needs a quick, clean second run here.
Yeah, and she's made a couple of small mistakes up on the early pitch. We'll wait till the split time to see if it's done damage.
It's done a little bit of damage, but she's still got the green light, more importantly from her perspective.
Yeah, and she's still fighting like mad through this middle part, keeping the body low, pressing those skis all the way around these curves, relatively straight here. So, oh, I was going to say she can afford to let them run, but that was a mistake that she could ill afford, just dropping her weight a little bit too far back on those straighter, inviting turns, and the skis running away as a result. And yeah, she's out of this one.
A disappointment for Smazova in her 5th Paralympic Winter Games. A DNF as Hondo Ami relays information back up the hill. And that would be to coaches for the sitting category. Japan with no more athletes in this standing category. Michaela Goslin of Canada with bib number 20, over 2 seconds quicker than our leader Hondo Ami from the first run. Can she consolidate that advantage in run 2 and lay down a second quick run?
So far, so good in the top section. She had a couple of, a little bit of trouble on the first couple of gates, but managed to regain the line. Drops a little low here, but still okay.
Finds a second in that first part of run 2 and goes to work on this more inviting section of the piece, which is slightly less steep than the top and bottom.
Now, of course, setters let the skiers run fast through this middle part.
Consistently found a second at each time interval has Goslin.
It's important to read the course. It's a very different set here. Wide across the hill. She does just that. This is a good finish.
2:11.07 and 4.9 the right side of the clock for Michaela Goslin of Canada.
A look back at the middle part where the gates are set a little straighter. She took a chance or two here and got the reward. Changes the tactic, sweeps wide through the double, and a very early switch onto that left foot to bring her onto the finish pitch and down towards the finish line.
No, it's better, I think.
Anna Maria Rieder of Germany with bib 18 has just over 4/10 of a second on our leader, Michaela Goslin of Canada. And not enjoying these opening turns, either getting pushed a little low in the line, battling to stay in the gates, which she's done. And now she can go to work.
Yeah, she didn't take full advantage of the top steep, though. Too straight into the first gate, and she was fighting, as we've said, just a little too hard. And again, drops low in the line here.
That said, though, the green light extends to 0.89.
Keeps it going steady through the middle part. A little straight section here, then just a sweep back out to her left-hand side from this gate.
Well, that nice calm skiing in that middle section gives her another second of green light.
Dropped a bit low here. She should have enough, but some time being bled away on the final pitch.
2:06.17. She's inside by 2.43. Excellent work from Ida of Germany.
Clean edge sets. Oh, just as I say that, though, the slow-mo picks up one of the mistakes by Rieder there. That long left foot turn, some time bled away on that for sure.
Alana Ramsey of Canada with just 12 hundredths of a second in the bank over Anna Maria Reider of Germany from the first run. And Ramsey gets caught on the inside on the third turn, and she is out of the women's giant slalom standing second run. Big disappointment for the two-times bronze medalist here in Beijing in earlier races. She won't be adding to that tally.
No, that's unfortunate. Just a little impatient coming off the right foot, a bit too early. The weight moving across to what would be the new turning ski sooner than she really could afford on such a steep pitch there. These top gates, they're typical GS challenge. They need some respect, but not too much if you want to stay competitive.
Current standings, Ida from Goslin from Hondo. But we still have the fastest 5 from the first run still to challenge in run 2. And the first of them is the defending Paralympic giant slalom champion and the reigning world champion in giant slalom standing, Marie Boucher. Marie Boucher of France out of the start hut with over a second's advantage over our leader.
Strong opening turns from Boucher, as we've come to expect from the experienced Frenchwoman. Look at her go as she comes off the steep and heads for the flats with, well, the most pace under the skis of anybody we've seen so far.
Diving into that right-footed turn, and the green light 1.78 as she gets into the tuck position for a couple of gates.
No advantage, no help from her factor, so she knows she has to take every risk and give every single turn maximum effort. Good skiing here by Boucher.
Still has the green light, 1.35. But this is a really difficult, challenging finishing pitch, which she needs to get right.
She's thrown herself forward here. Very good skiing on the final pitch by Boucher.
2:03.74. She's inside by over a second and is our new leader in the women's giant slalom standing race. She's done all she can do to defend her title.
Yeah, pushing things right to the limit. Boucher low in the position, keeps the line management, well, just about perfect, I would say. A couple of times the snow letting her down and breaking away under the skis, but she battles on from the top all the way to the bottom.
Andrea Rothfuss of Germany, bib number 19, fourth quickest after the first run, has just over half a second on Boucher, our current leader in this women's giant slalom standing race. And Rothfuss, a bronze medalist in Pyeongchang, looking to try and upgrade that if she can here in Beijing.
Andy Rothfuss a little twisted with the upper body on many of these top turns. This is a little bit more disciplined here as she comes out onto the flat. Or just as I say that, she gets dropped low in the line again.
0.36 now the advantage, and she'll know that that was an error, so she'll have to push further on down this track.
Really flying at this middle section. Quick on, quick off with the pressure. Different tactic from Marie Boucher. Oh, dropped again once or twice in the line, but she has made some time.
Yeah, she nearly doubles that advantage to 0.71. And here she comes now, Rothfuss into the final pitch. Couple of gates from home, 2:02.58 is under pressure, and Rothfuss is inside by 0.67 of a second. She moves into provisional gold with just 3 remaining at the top of the hill. 2:01.91, the new best time.
Andrea Rothfuss absolutely delighted, as she should be with that run. That's some of the most confident skiing I've ever seen from the young German. A little ragged in places, but ultimately the risk-taking and the technique and tactics blended very, very well. Now, that will be a strong run and something for the others to chase down.
Das war nicht schön und es war nicht geil.
Molly Jepson of Canada with bib number 17 has over a second in hand on our current leader, Andrea Rothfuss of Germany from the first run. And Jepson, living life on the edge on those very steep opening turns, but she's still on course.
Yeah, these ladies all know the gap is close between each and every one of them now, so no complacency can be afforded. They have to take risks.
A 1.38, that's just gone down to 0.74 now. And this is the part of the track where our leader was super smooth and clean.
Yeah, she's settled really well after those shaky early turns. Jepson really going to town on the middle part.
1:44.57 and still has the green light by just under 3/4 of a second as she drifts around that double gate.
Yeah, she was a little static in the double, can't afford any more drift, can't lose the line here on the final red turn.
2:01.91, Jepson is in by nearly a second. Good skiing from Molly Jepson on the final pitch, and she goes into provisional gold. She knows she's got a medal because only 2 remain.
There's the drift, couple of small errors, but she's still done enough to get the lead for now. She just has to watch and wait in the finish area. Long drift around that double, but she carved a fairly short line and a very strong final couple of turns into the tuck position and over that line.
Bib number 16, Ebba Arsho of Sweden, the second quickest after the first run. And she has nearly 1 3/4 seconds on Jepson, our leader, but she's right on the edge on these opening turns as she gets the left hand down on the snow.
This is absolutely on the limit. She knows she needs to take risks, not content to be sitting in silver position. She's on the charge here for a gold.
She gets around that corner on her inside ski and grows the gap to over 3 seconds. This is attacking skiing at its finest from Arsho.
I would say she needs to settle this. I think she's actually saying that to herself as she goes through the middle part.
Oh no, she's down.
She's
cross of the skis was it, and she gets flipped out of the course, and Arsho, who was absolutely flying, is out, and with it goes her chance of a medal. And Rothfuss has her hands to her face because she knows that she has medalled because there's only 1 remaining at the top of the hill. Well, let's hope that our show is okay.
Yeah, short hold by the looks of things, just to double check. Dario Capelli taking good care of his athlete Zhang in the start area. A few words of wisdom, just telling her not to be concerned.
And Arsha looks like she's just holding her right knee. Let's have another look.
Yeah, just on the next right foot turn, she gets caught in a little hole. She on the tails, and then the skis load up very, very heavily, and she gets spun around. Yeah, she looks to be in some discomfort here.
Well, she's just
Makes it
asked
to her feet, though.
Yeah, just asked. No, she's hurt her right knee, hasn't she?
I think it's Oh, shit. You need to try again.
Well, this is the drama of Alpine ski racing, para-Alpine. Arjo in a lot of pain by the looks of things at the side of the course. Anxious moments for her coaches and crew and her family watching at home. Andy Rothfuss, tears of delight meantime in the finish area. She can't believe what she's done.
And all the while, Zhang of China has just to wait.
I'm embarrassing myself.
Arsha being attended to at the side of the track. They've got the skis off. And the start referee, Sawana Hiroshi, just having a look down, but they're all in radio contact, so they should have a clear idea of what's happening. But the 20-year-old Zhang in her first Paralympic Winter Games is just being asked to wait a little bit longer. And Andy Rothfuss from Germany getting the congratulations of her teammates and coaches at the bottom. Well, this will be a test of Zhang's mental fortitude as well as her physical fortitude.
Yes, and with no major games experience to her credit, you know, you have to spare a thought for her. She looks to be very cool, calm and collected up at the top, but meantime, good to see that the medical crew are with Ebarsho, but she does look to be in a lot of discomfort. Just to explain her impairment, she skis us on LW4, so that's the same as many athletes who would have only be skiing on one leg and skiing with a prosthetic limb. Eba's impairment means that the muscular development, the soft tissue development of her right side didn't really happen as it would ordinarily have. So she skis as the equivalent of an athlete skiing with one regular leg and one prosthetic limb. So it looks to me that it's her weaker side that she's injured. So we'll have to take, the medical crew rather, will have to take very good care of her as they load her into the sledge, and hopefully that's mainly as a precaution rather than as an indicator of any significant injury. She's conscious and speaking to the medical crew, so that in itself is a good thing. And let's just watch and wait while we get her safely down to the bottom of the hill.
Stand in the middle and remember? That's nice.
Last or?
Yes, last.
Okay.
Stand last. Just enough.
Can we carry
Yes, you can.
So Molly Jepson and Andrea Rothfuss know they have a medal It's Marie Bochet of France who's on the bubble. She's currently in third with one remaining at the top of the hill.
That's good to see. Our Swedish skier is on her feet. Skis are off. As I say, maybe she'll take the precautionary ride down on the sledge, but she's as tough as any of the competitors here, and I know if at all possible, she'll want to put her skis on and make her way down under her own steam.
Well, Zhang is trying to keep herself busy and keep her mind occupied.
Yeah, she's in good hands up there. Dario Capelli, the gentleman with the broad shoulders up there, just reassuring Zhang. He's an Italian by birth from the Italian mountains, and he's been head coach with the Chinese national squad program for the last 4 years, and really he couldn't fault the preparation and the final delivery so far by his athletes. She does look a little anxious, doesn't she? She'll know she'll better get ready, get those skis back on and get herself warmed up and ready to do whatever she can to defend that lead from the first run, because after all, there is a medal at stake.
And Bochet can't watch down in the finish area. And all the while, this long hold will just play on the mind of Zhang and also allow the course crew to do some work on the track.
Yeah, there's two sides to it, really. Perhaps the precocious talent that youth brings allows her just to say, I'm going to do my job no matter what. At the same time, she doesn't have that big race experience, not that many start outings for her to know and have the experience of having to deal with. This is inevitable in alpine ski racing. There's always crashes, and very often an athlete finds themselves told just to pull back from that start one just at the very last moment. And it's an important set of experiences to gain to enable you to manage that situation when it happens on this, the very, very most important stage of your career.
So 30 seconds now until Zhang leaves the start hut, and some last-minute guidance from her coach. Zhang Mengqiu from the People's Republic of China, bib number 26, our leader after the first run in this women's giant slalom standing competition. And she has an advantage of 1.83 seconds over Molly Jepson of Canada, our current leader.
She's a little more static in the first few turns than she was in the first. The movement of the legs starting to come now as she comes onto the flatter section.
This looks quick from Zhang. Is it too quick? Has a long, long hold on the right ski, but she's now over 4 seconds the right side of the clock.
Takes great pace off that top part of the course. Runs it out smoothly and quite precisely onto the middle part of the course.
Well, this will be a big gap. It's nearly 5 seconds that Zhang has in the bank. She just needs to stay upright here. Inside of the finish, and the crowd start to welcome her home. Jepson's time is 2 minutes, 0.95, and Zhang is down and into gold medal position by over 5 seconds. And the People's Republic of China strike gold in the women's giant slalom standing race.
Well, a look back at that gold medal run. She certainly wasn't put off by the delay. She was able to take more risks through that run, and a series of very clean turns here puts China in command of the women's standing category once again.
The second gold medal of the Games for Zhang Mengyu. Confirmation of the women's giant slalom standing results. Zhang Mengyu of the People's Republic of China is the gold medal winner. Molly Jepsen of Canada in silver. And Andrea Rothfuss of Germany in third. Marie Bochet, the defending champion, just misses out on the podium. She is in fourth as 16 of the 21 racers to start the second run finish. So the recognition ceremony for the women's giant slalom standing race at the Beijing Paralympic Winter Games of 2022. And delight for the home fans as Zhang Mengyu is on the top step of the podium. Andrea Rothfuss of Germany, who's been on the Paralympic podium in every Winter Games since 2006, continues that run in Beijing. And Molly Jepsen keeps Canada's excellent record in this category going at Beijing. A fourth medal for Canada, Jepsen second. And Zhang Mengyu, who has medaled in every race, picks up her second gold medal of these games. Another excellent performance from Zhang Mengyu.
Show your appreciation for the Beijing 2022 Paralympic Winter Games medalists.
女士们、先生们，请向北京2022年冬残奥会获奖运动员表示热烈的祝贺。
So the women's giant slalom sitting race, the second run at the Alpine skiing at Beijing 2022. The last of the 3 gold medals to be decided on day 7. And let's have a look at the start list. Just 10 athletes from 7 NPCs at the top of the hill. And Muraoka Momoka is the defending Paralympic champion. And the world champion, Katie Combaluzier, will be third out of the start hut. But they're all trying to chase down Liu Sitong of the People's Republic of China, who was quickest after the first run. She will go 10th and last in this second run. And Larila of Finland, who was 10th quickest from run 1, will get us underway. And here she comes now into the start hut. Pattern the gates in this second run, set by Tony McAllister, one of the coaches from the United States of America. Set 39 gates, 38 turning gates, the double gate coming on the 90-degree bend into the finishing pitch. It's the top 6 gates that are really steep and the bottom 7 gates that are really steep, and in between there are varying degrees of slope. Maiju Larila from Finland gets the second run of the women's giant slalom sitting race underway. The 42-year-old in her first Paralympic Winter Games has to negotiate these really very steep hard top 6 or so gates, and just about here we'll be able to settle in to the pattern of gates on this middle section.
Yes, for the sit skiers, those top gates will be crucial. The snow cement, the chemicals the course workers have applied and the break between the runs really has worked well today. A lot of moisture in the air and a lot of free water present in the snowpack. So that translates to a drop in temperature caused by the chemicals on the snow, and that's why the athletes, despite the warm air, the athletes are finding it very, very firm underfoot.
Two time checks on this giant slalom track. And Narilla, who carried the Finnish flag at the opening ceremony, is doing a good job in her first outing at a Paralympic Winter Games. And now this double turn that will bring her onto this very steep finishing section, not too dissimilar to the starting pitch.
She's done a good job here, consistent and a little bit conservative, let's say, but she should be able to bring this one home safely for Finland.
And Narilla does stop the clock in 2:51.23. She's down and sets the time for everyone to beat.
Good solid skiing here. The sit ski rig doing its job pretty well. Narilla gets the line high above that blue turn. That allows her space to pick her way around the curve and set up for the following gate, and gets her ultimately safely into the finish area here.
Great Britain in the start hut now. Bib number 45 is Shona Brownlee. And her advantage over Narilla, our current leader after the first run, 9.05 seconds. And Brownlee, in her first Paralympic Winter Games, was a silver medalist in this event at the World Championships in Lillehammer earlier this year. And these are good opening turns on this steep section from Brownlee.
Yeah, an attacking approach here. Great work by Brownlee. Just has to be a little bit careful. She doesn't let the turn shape run away from her. But does a great job. She's now off the main pitch up at the top here. Just needs to stay calm, keep the rhythm, keep the swing in the turns going, and bring it across the midsection.
She extends the advantage over Narilla, our current leader at the first split. And now tries to find a little bit more time in this second third.
Keeps that pretty solid line going, does Brownlee. Switches the rig onto the left edge, onto the right.
Finds a couple more seconds in that middle third, and now these final turns.
So far, so good for Shona Brownlee. No major problems on this challenging hill. This one last red gate turn, and she should be home safe. It's straight to the line from here.
2:51.23. We have a new leader by 19 seconds. Good work from Shona Brownlee, who's all smiles in the finish area.
Close-up slow-mo look at Brownlee's technique here. Great tactics here. Picks a really safe, solid line through the top part of that double gate. She's all smiles with the rest of her GB teammates in the finish area.
Katie Combaluzier of Canada, 2.63, her advantage over our leader Brownlee from the first run. Combaluzier, 8th quickest in run 1, the silver medalist at the World Championships in Lillehammer in January of this year. Has she managed to find some time on those steep opening turns as we head towards the first time split, which is at 1:45.46.
The line's good coming off the steep. She's taken good speed, carried the momentum well.
And Combeluzier still has the green light, but it's just under a second.
Takes a couple of bites at that last red gate. Setting the turn cleanly and smoothly is a key for the sit skiers. Combeluzier, just a couple more of these. She's going in twice with the rig to get the turn set up. Smooths it out here. Looks ahead to spot her line into the following gates.
Yeah, good middle section from Combeluzier. She finds more time. Comes sweeping round the double into the finishing pitch.
Well, just one small mistake on the red there. That will have cost her a little, but
2:32.08. She's going to be inside, and she's inside by 3.81 seconds. Good skiing from Combeluzier.
Katie Combeluzier very happy with this run. Rides those bumps coming off the first of the pitches really well. And further down, sends it for the line when she gets the chance to run straight.
Do I go there?
Bib 48 is the birthday girl. Han Xiaxia, 32 years of age today, 1.69 the advantage over Katie Combeluzier, our current leader from the first run.
Now, more aggressive line here by Han. Getting closer to the gates is what I mean by aggressive. The difficulty sometimes can be the forces build up too quickly and the athletes on the rig are sent wide out on the end of the turn, but Han gets the measure of that top part. Is her training hill as well as today's competition hill. So that local knowledge advantage being played out to good effect.
And the advantage has been extended. So a good second run from Han Xiaxia. Getting encouragement from the side of the hill. And at 2:08.36, Han sees the advantage now stand at 3.34 seconds.
Getting a little low on these 2 or 3 turns. She gets space here though through the double to get the line back. Perhaps some of that advantage will have been eaten away by those small errors, but now back on again, a pretty aggressive, dynamic line down the finish pitch.
2:28.27, and Han Xiaxia on her birthday is in gold medal position of the women's giant slalom sitting race. Some good turns from Han on this second run, and she negotiated that steep section really confidently. Zhang Haiyun from the People's Republic of China with a really big advantage of over 3.25 seconds on our current leader Han Xiaxia, also from the People's Republic of China. Now, Zhang Haiyun, in her first Paralympic Winter Games, was a gold medalist in the T42 long jump way back in Athens in 2004. She also competed at the Paralympic Summer Games in Beijing in 2008, so doubling up as she competes in the Paralympic Winter Games. Beijing, of course, the first dual city to host both the Summer and Winter games.
Keeps that advantage as she rolls out onto the middle flats and runs a pretty straight line through the series of gates that passes the start point for the slalom competitions.
2:05.02, the next split from Han. And Zhang is still with a healthy green light at 4.33 seconds. She's got a bit of pace coming in here.
Yeah, run a little wide on the double. Shouldn't have harmed the time too badly. Heavy edge set there from the red to blue just to keep herself on line and set up for the run to the finish.
A little late in the line, but it shouldn't worry her too much. 4.26 seconds. Zhang Haiyun is in gold medal position.
Good close look at the suspension system of Zhang's rig, working to keep that ski solidly in contact with the snow.
Zhang Wenjing from the People's Republic of China, bib number 43, trying to chase down her compatriot and teammate Zhang Haiyuan of China. And 1.41 the advantage, very wide and late in the line.
Yeah, big recovery move there. She went in very, very hot to the first couple of turns. Recovered the mistake well. It only took her a gate, or say 2 gates really, to get the line back under control, and now making very good headway as she comes off the steep, picking up a lot of speed in those last few gates.
Zhang Wenjing now 4.34 the right side of the clock. Some excellent skiing through the opening turns.
Yeah, and keeping that going all the way through the middle part of the course, left, right, through the straighter section. Out to her right-hand side one more time, a longer turn across to her left. The turns swing wider.
Oh, she's found over 2 seconds in that section. 6.84 the right side of the pace. Really attacking this second run here.
Yeah, really precise on the exit from the double. Sets her up really well, beautifully well for the finish. A really quick run to the line coming here.
Zhang Wenjing taking it away from Zhang Haiyuan by 10 seconds. Zhang Wenjing with a blistering second run charge.
Oh, very well executed run by Zhang. Just a couple of mistakes up on the very top pitch, but key thing was the recovery skills were there and very, very well delivered. Got the line back, lower down, I have to say. That really is the sweet line on the finish pitch. That's the one that the remaining skiers who are still to take their challenge will be looking to achieve on the run down to the finish line.
Annalena Forster of Germany, 4th quickest after the first run, has a second in hand over our current leader Zhang Wenjing of the People's Republic of China for this second run. And Forster, good opening turns. A 3-time Paralympic champion.
Yeah, a strong start. Like some others, though, a couple of small line errors in the middle of the pitch, but she puts those behind her and tries to get the ski running quickly and cleanly across the flats.
Finds 0.04 of a second on those opening turns. Zhang Wenjing, our current leader, with a big second run charge. Can Forster of Germany match that in run 2?
Looks to be trying everything she knows through here. Very quick and very early in the line here, finding a real straight series, a straight line through that last series of turns.
And it's still 1.04. Forster holding Zhang at bay for the time being. But here come the money turns.
She's in nice and early, gets dropped a little on that red, but no, gets high for the blue, high for that final red.
2:10.92, and she's just outside 600ths of a second. Forstat with the smallest of errors on that final pitch.
Well, Alpine racing at this level, the smallest of mistakes are punished heavily, and just slight line errors, I would say, on the final pitch, costing Annalena Forster the lead.
Ist trotzdem eine ganz tolle Person, tolle Sport.
Barbara van Bergen of the Netherlands, the next out on track with 3.06 seconds in the bank, but she might lose all of that because she's very, very, very late in the line and loses nearly all her momentum.
Oh, well, yeah, I think that's the chance of a medal gone there, unfortunately, for Barbara van Bergen, but she really needs to calm the frustrations, focus back on the line ahead of her, and bring this one home safe from here without any more mistakes.
A 1:33.11, she's still got the green light by 0.68, but it's whether or not that mistake manifests itself further on down the challenge, not only in terms of her line, but also in her head, because she knows she's made that big mistake.
She looks to have settled well, I have to say. No sign of anxious, hurried movements coming across the flats. Ground speed, she's maybe lacking a little, though.
Well, it's 400s now, the green light, and Van Bergen is precarious in her lead as she comes to the final turns. Third quickest after the first run, but the mistake could have cost her as she runs a little wide on that blue gate. 2:10.92, Van Bergen. She's going to be outside. She is. Just too many mistakes, and Van Bergen goes into third place for the time being.
Well, that was a run really strong in parts, but unfortunate, the big mistake and huge line adjustment necessitated there, way out in the soft snow up at the top. Yeah, she knows she could ill afford those mistakes.
Muroka Momoka of Japan, second quickest after the first run in this women's giant slalom sitting race. 3.45 seconds her advantage over Zhang Wenjing of the People's Republic of China, who is our current leader and knows she will have a medal because there are only two left to race. But Kamuro Oka, the captain of the Japan team here in Beijing, laid down another epic run on the Haituo Mountain.
So far, so good for her. This is a flyer on the top section.
And at the first split, she's grown the advantage by 3 seconds. Muroka Momoka is absolutely flying here, but she's got to make it stick. She's got to be sure in these turns.
Yeah, clearly carrying greater ground speed than anybody else so far. Got to anticipate what's coming up. Course is straight here, but it begins to swing again from this point onwards.
7 seconds now, the advantage for Muroka Momoka as she comes to this double gate that will bring her onto the finishing pitch. She is absolutely flying.
Yeah, confidence, brimful of confidence here, allows her to dig really deep, drop the rig right on its side just when she needs it.
Perfect turns from Muroka Momoka, and she leads by a massive 8.65 seconds. 2:02.27. What a run that is from Muroka Momoka, who will get yet another medal here.
Masterful stuff by our Japanese sit skier Muroka Momoka. Great to watch. Such exciting sit skiing. She's left it all now. She's absolutely exhausted.
Liu Sitong from the People's Republic of China, the quickest athlete from the first run. Her advantage over Muraoka Momoka of Japan, our leader at the moment, is 1.04 seconds. And Liu Sitong has been challenged, and that is a big mistake because she runs wide.
She's run wide, but she's managed to keep the majority of the momentum. She's managed to stay out of that heavy, soft snow that's off to the side of the racing line, and now gradually winding herself back onto the attacking line. Good pace now as she comes off. We'll get a check in the moment to see how much damage has been done.
Well, a lot of damage has been done. She's 2.69 off the pace, but if she can absolutely get the ski running quickly here, she might eat into that.
Doesn't seem to have the ground speed through the middle part. She's choosing to keep things calm and smoothly execute these turns.
Next time split 146.22, and it's going the wrong way for Liu Sitong. It's now 5.39 seconds, and Liu can't afford to lose too much more time in these final turns.
The line's good, but maybe not aggressive enough on this final pitch to do much about that deficit.
2:02.27, Muraoka's time. That's come, that's gone, and Liu is second, 7.28 off the pace. And it is Muraoka Momoka who is the Paralympic champion, her third gold medal here in Beijing, and she also has a silver. What a performance by the Japan team captain. Disappointment for Liu Sitong.
Well, she led from the first run, but some mistakes earlier on had to be measured, had the remainder of her run had to be maximized. Good tactics there by Zhang.
So here are the final results. Muraoka Momoka defends her title she won in Pyeongchang in 2018. Liu Sitong of the People's Republic of China is the silver medalist. Zhang Wenjing from China, with a second run charge, moves from 5th to 3rd to round off the podium. So the recognition ceremony for the women's giant slalom sitting race in Beijing 2022. And what a story it is for Japan, and Muraoka Momoka, who wins her 4th medal in 4 races here at Beijing 2022. 3 of them gold, 1 of them silver. She has been absolutely dominant in the women's sitting category. So the bronze medalists from the People's Republic of China, it is Zhang Wenjing. And in silver medal position, it's Liu Sitong, who picks up her 3rd medal of these games. The first 2 were bronze. And an emotional Muraoka Momoka of Japan is the Paralympic giant slalom sitting champion of Beijing 2022, her 3rd gold medal of these Paralympic Winter Games. Well, what an amazing run from Muraoka Momoka. And, well, you wouldn't bet against her making it a 4th gold on the final day of competition at Beijing 2022. as the athletes leave the field of play. She has delivered once again for her country. Well, all the women's skiers don't get much rest. They're back in action tomorrow on day 8 of these games with the slalom, their last day of competition. But day 7 has delivered some real drama, and yet 3 more gold medals across vision impaired, standing and sitting categories in the women's competition. Another excellent day of Paralpine skiing.
Yeah, the China National Alpine Center delivering an amazing day of competition for the women's giant slalom discipline, and really a great clutch of medals, well deserved and hard fought for in each and every one of the classes.
So the curtain comes down on day 7 of these Beijing Paralympic Winter Games 2022. Congratulations to Veronika Eigner of Austria, who wins gold in the vision impaired category. Zhang Mengyu of China picks up her 4th and 2nd gold medal of these games, while Muraoka Momoka of Japan in the sitting category wins her 3rd gold medal and 4th in total. What a day of action we have witnessed. We'll be back tomorrow on day 8 for women's slalom.